Without a doubt, creativity is an addiction. I was with actor Robert David this morning, and I always have great conversations with him. He's such a brilliant man of thought, but more importantly, he's a brilliant man in making sure that he stays active. He doesn't let things get in his way. Creativity is an addiction, and you still have to be able to feed that beast while not trying to destroy your own personal life. But to sit down with somebody like Robert Davi and to hear his journey, his story, his ambitions of what he's going to be doing not only this year, but next year, it's so inspiring. Unplugged, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. How you doing? What's been happening in your life? Anything different? And are you doing anything different? Have you changed jobs? Do you need to sip on some coffee or something right now? I do. Man, I'm telling you, what you been doing? I have to ask myself that question a lot, and I do that in a defrag journal. I started defragging in November of 2017 as a way of, hey, who better to know me than me? Only to realize I don't know me. Then who better to know me? Nobody. Nobody knows me. And that's a strange feeling to be in. It's like, well, if nobody knows me and I don't know me, I better start asking some questions. I better start getting some answers as to why it is and who it is and where I'm going and why is this happening. In fact, I've been trying to convince myself to turn the defrag journals into some sort of podcast episodes, only because I ain't the only one. I'm not the only one who can sit here and say, I don't know jack crap about who I am. And I don't. I've been living inside this body for 59 years. I know what he's done, but I can't tell you why. I know what he wants to do, but I can't tell you where. I know none of that because I've been busy being everything that I thought I was, only to realize I never was. Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer. I write in the morning and I defrag in the afternoon. A lot of writing, a lot of time. People say, I don't want to do that kind of stuff. I don't want people to know what I'm thinking. Why not? Why not? We're all messengers. We all bring things forward. We all teach. We can all learn. But if you don't know what it is that you're doing by living in the presence of now, then is there substance to it? This is The Daily Mess. What would the world be like without coffee? I asked a food expert that very question this morning, Mr. Robert A. Williams of the FDA. I said, Robert, what would happen if the world did not have coffee? And in his very strong and informative voice, he goes, if you knew how important coffee is to the human body, it actually has good things in it for your body. And I went, oh my God. I said, I'm going to start drinking more and more and more. Whoa, he says. But you have to give yourself limitations with it because too much of a good thing is not a good thing. It's the same thing with water. Did you know that water comes with arsenic? It does. He said so. He told me. Oh, God. The name of his book is Fixing Food, if you want to go get it. He's so brilliant in sharing stories like that. But what would the world be like without coffee? I know what we were doing before Red Bull and Monster drinks hit the scene. Look at how many energy drinks there are out there today. But I can't envision a planet without a steaming hot cup of Joe. Well, here's what I found out this morning, because I do like to research, because I like content. Coffee actually came into play in the 15th century, 850 AD. Just like the power drinks, look at how many different styles of coffee flavors there are today. I mean, they are all the way up the grocery store lane. More importantly, what about the number of mom and pop coffee shops unafraid of Starbucks? I remember as a kid how my parents complained a lot about the price of a can of coffee. Not a box, not one of those little pods, a can of coffee. They blamed it on a poor harvest. Supply and demand made my mom and dad really mad, which I believe would be the way of the world if coffee was no more. We'd be mad as in like insane. Not everybody enjoys the power drinks. For that matter, not everybody's into tea either. So we've got to be grateful for our coffee. Got to show some respect. Give it some love while you're sipping on it on this brand new day. Can you imagine the world without coffee? The scent of coffee, I think that I would miss that. In fact, I want you to know that since March of 2020, during the COVID lockdown, I put myself through a taste and a smell test every single morning. And because those are the signs that you could have COVID if you've lost your taste and you've lost your sense of smell. So I would sit there at the beginning part of the lockdown, and the first thing I would do is I'd go and I would sniff coffee grounds. If you can't smell coffee grounds, something's not right. Now, what did I use for taste? It wasn't coffee, because I like my coffee hot. Oh, I like it hot. So, but if you're just going to sip on it and you don't get a taste, oh crap, do I have COVID? So what I do is I smell the coffee, and then I have sauerkraut. If you can't taste sauerkraut, you've got something wrong. We need to start respecting our food a little bit more than what we're doing. And I think that was the main story of the conversation that I had with Robert A. Williams today is that we don't respect it. We are throwing things together that don't need to be together. Obesity is at a horrible, horrible rate, and it's going to get worse. But the thing is, though, is that even if we go to McDonald's, do you respect the people that gave you the hamburger or created it for you? Do you respect the cows that gave their lives so that you could have that burger? Or the potatoes that came from the ground, maybe in Idaho, that made the French fries? We could bring Chick-fil-A into this. What about all those chickens that sacrificed their lives? And this is not a guilt trip. I think it's something when you start to appreciate what you have and you're very mindful of what you're putting inside your mind, body, and soul, it changes you. But if all you're going to do is garble this and garble that and garble this more, then what happens is that you have a disrespect for that. And I have to ask, what else in your life are you disrespecting? Is it you that is disrespecting yourself? Remember, the Defrag Journal. I don't know who I am, but I ask the questions every day. And I ask you to do the same. Who are you? And if you don't know, ask the questions. Put it down in a journal. Allow your eyes to see your answers. Get into a conversation with yourself. I'm Arroe, and that's the Daily Mess.